Hey everybody, welcome to Adventures with Pep's podcast. We are entering the Spillways once again. We are going to try and cover day 37 to 47. So that's 10 days of info. So make sure you got a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, whatever you got. Get comfy, pause this video for a minute. Go get set up, get some snacks. I will try and post some videos in the background just to make it look a little bit interesting. It's just going to be me walking around Ottawa, let's be honest. It's been snowing again, which is super annoying. But I've waffled probably already for too long, so let's get into it. Day 37. My thought process was the stench of industry. So as Ol progressed further into the spillways, the stench grew worse. His first level stretched out before him in a nightmare of waste and industry, where endless heaps of refuse, broken tech, and rotting bio-waste were combed through, with an efficiency that only corporate greed could muster. Everywhere Ol looked, work crews laboured, their genetically modified forms adapted to the filth they processed. Day 38, the work crews of Level 1. The crews worked in tight mechanical motions, each movement drilled into them through experience or bioconditioning. These, the lowest tier workers working closest to the exit, were barely clothed beyond cheap hazard suits, the thin material already worn and stained from repeated shifts. These came from the lower level corps with lesser funds than the megacorps. Their gene mods were basic, elongated fingers and toughened nails, perfect for shifting through the junk. Some bore extra noses or gills, allowing them to breathe with ease. Their task was simple but relentless: sort through the final scraps of waste that have reached them, salvage material that was deemed fit for use, and what was truly garbage. They searched for small machine parts, springs, needles, and these were tossed into the reclaim stores, whilst the truly unsalvable parts were collected and dumped to be melted down into toxic sludge. Day 39, the machines of the spillway. Towering above the waters, massive robotic haulers rumbled in the dark, their servo arms clanking as they scooped away the useful waste. These robust machines are designed to withstand the worst of Sector 102's waste, moving mountains of waste to the processing stations above, their dull optic eyes flickering in the gloom, running endless calculations as they determined what was most profitable and what had to be disposed of or reused. Ol looked down through the grated floor near the giant machine. "There's 10 levels to this robot," Oldie replied. "The deeper we go, the more profit the companies make." Day 40, the divide between workers. The lowest paid crews worked near the entrance, breathing in the rancid fumes, sorting through the final scraps before melting the leftovers. They have the early stage gene mods, functional grafts to get them working efficiently and able to survive. But the lower you went, the better the equipment and gene mods. Funded by the megacorps, their gear is reinforced, their gene mods refined, making them faster, stronger, sharper, perfect blend of human ingenuity and corporate greed. Some had cybernetic lenses, allowing for quick scanning and rapid procurement of salvage. Ol stand amazed at the fact that people would choose this life, and Old explained that it is a simpler life than upstairs. This is the sector's true economy. Now let's move before we become part of the pile. Day 41. Ol adjusted the straps on his rig, feeling the weight of exhaustion settle deep into his bones. Sleep was now a luxury as he passed through the spillway, grabbing moments wedged between rusted pipes. The stench seemed to lessen, but Ol knew the truth. The stench was now a permanent fixture, and his nose had stopped caring. Days had passed, and Ol and the group had reached Level 5, which was still a bustling hive of trash pickers. Work crews in well-used, but also well-maintained hazard suits toiled under lighting rigs, shoveling waste into conveyor systems for the levels above. These teams would spend a month at a time doing this before rotating out. Their sole purpose: shoveling the garbage up. It sounds depressing, but that is it. That's all they do. From here on down, their sole purpose is to get trash moving upwards. Their voices, though in the dim, carried through the tunnels. They sound weary, complaining about stuff, making jokes, and now and again issuing the odd warning to each other. But as the trio pushed through the level, the numbers of workers began to thin out. I'm trying my best to talk in a normal way, and I'm struggling. Now, I can read my own notes. It's just I'm dyslexic, so reading them back, I'm getting tongue-tied, and it's really quite annoying. But that's the sole purpose of this podcast, is to make me practice A, my reading, and B, my talking. So I'm sorry if this is annoying. If it's not, make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. There you go, that was a good plug. Day 42, we've now reached level 6. You're probably wondering, hey, why are you rushing through these Spillways sections? To be honest, this is something that I want to explore further in gameplay and RPG settings. So I'm trying to leave as much open as possible. I think it'd be fun if I can run a game at some point where people are actually exploring the different levels of the Spillway. And I don't want to lock in anything too much. This guy, he's meant to be exploring everything to do with the Spillway. So he's going to get through the Spillway, and then he's meant to be creating the map for the next couple of levels. So he's meant to be finding out what's in 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and onwards. You've got to imagine he's like a frontier explorer. So I don't want to spend too much time delving into the trash levels. I want to get to the more exciting ones. So level 6. Here the work crews grow smaller, their gear grimier and more worn. Here the teams huddle to the flickering lights and fire pits, as if the light is protecting them from something. This felt more like being in the wilds to all. Hushed whispers named of skittering black shiny shapes in the dark, things that moved too fast and disappeared quickly. Most of the workers laughed it off as urban tales, others claimed them to be oversized cockroaches. Yet some of the more sunken-eyed workers warn that those who wander off the main paths rarely come back. Day 43, level 7. The last level has finally opened up. The work crews have moved on for the most part. Now we have hit the specialist crews. These guys are just clearing space. Their sole purpose is to go down, open up an area, start building the machine that can take the garbage upwards and create a tunnel and start building a camp so that the work crews can start moving in and moving the garbage away. Now, we are only on level 7. After this, the main machine is going to disappear and it's going to become like elevator systems, and the Spillways is going to properly open up now after this section. But this is going to be a pretty large multi-day section, so strap on in. These crews are specialists in just clearing space. The air here feels heavier. Labouring under the watchful eye, these crews are watched by security guards of the megacorps. The surprising thing for Ol was the fact that these security guards didn't seem to be watching the workers. They were instead watching out into the hills of garbage. What exactly they were looking for, Ol was unsure. But Ol also noticed the inclusion of robots and tech support. Gal, the security guard, explained as the new levels are being opened up, the processing machines have to be built as well. This process could take years, making this the official frontier of the Spillways. Day 44, Level 7, the machine. It stood at every entrance, to every level. A towering, multi-limbed, monstrous machine. It did its task no matter what. Ol hadn't thought about it until now, as he stared into the eye of a nearly completely built machine. But he spent that night looking at his footage, and there it was, in every video, at every entrance to every level. A giant machine with one gleaming red eye, its sole purpose to lift heaps of waste to the level above, its sensors casting an eerie glow over the workers nearby. Ol had never thought about its age before, and the fact that it seemed to grow over the years, delving deeper and deeper underground like roots of a tree, but these roots fed on human trash. The more Ol watched the video, the more creeped out he was by the machine. The one on level 7 was nearly complete, so it didn't look that dissimilar to the others. But how would the one on level 8 compare? Day 45. It was the final day at the worker camp on level 7. Beyond here, the 3 of them would be almost alone, or at least that was what Ol assumed. Then Kelp Pharmacy reps turned up. Seems like they had other plans and had sent an additional 5 security guards and 2 scientists to join the party. Looks like the team of 3 is now a team of 10. We will discuss the crew as they come up, but for this scenario, I imagine that these are additional people to assist with the mapping aspect of it. The scientists are there to check. They're going to quickly say, like, this area looks good, you should claim it. This area is going to be crap, or hey, this area, the air's toxic, let's not come down here, we've got to clean that. So they're going to be a finding mission. But ultimately, level 8 is going to be similar to 7, just with the machine maybe half complete. Level 9, the machine is brand new. It's only now getting moved in. Day 46. During his last day of interviews, Ol learned of stories that sent shivers down his spine. Stories of tunnels not staying put, opening or closing without warning, or becoming completely covered. The workers talked of a hard black resin that would appear on surfaces. One tall Finn worker warned of a spider's nest where the walls pulsed like living flesh, and where the bodies of the missing workers laid, cocooned in webbing. Another mentioned of a lake of toxic sludge just past level 9, its surface bubbling with shapes moving below. Gal warned Ol not to listen to the tales. He also pulled out a datapad showing the workers' info before marking them all red. Ol could only assume that was not a good sign for the workers. Gal was very, very strict on Ol at this point, trying to make him realize that, how do these people know this? We've barely gone down there. This guy's definitely not gone down there. If he'd have seen a spider's nest, he'd be dead. So how does he know it exists? These are all urban myths. Ol is trying to be force-fed the propaganda of the kelp industry party. And then on to the final day, day 47. Ol awoke to find some of his tapes missing. Just the 2 about the spiders and the 1 about the moving tunnels. As Ol further investigated his gear, he realized more were missing. Anything that mentioned the black resin had also gone. Unsure who to trust, Ol stayed quiet and started backing up the info into his internal memory files. This is about to get spicy. Right, hopefully I didn't mumble through my words too much. If I did, I'm going to try and rewrite sections or re-record sections. So if it sounds a bit choppy in places, it's because I messed up somewhere, and on the re-listen I realised. But there you go, we are almost 50 days into the Spillway, and we are leaving level 7 finally. That's going to be the last proper work crew area. As mentioned earlier in this video, level 8 is going to be a half-built machine, a smaller worker area, followed by level 9, where it's pretty much they've just landed, and the tunnels on level 9 are going to be purely what's been left open by the trash. Level 10, that's where I want things to start getting a bit silly. We're going to have the toxic sludge lake, as I mentioned, and maybe the spider's nest. And during all that, we're going to keep mentioning the black resin that's appearing on stuff and hopefully explore that. And then after that, we are what I would probably assume is the city bottom. And then we can probably go into the proper undercity after that, which could be real fun. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. It's a longer video again. Hopefully I cut a few moments out of this because it's looking like a 20-minute video at this time. So I'm going to either cut this into 2 videos or try and trim this down a little bit. Anyway, I do appreciate you stopping to listen to me. I hope I haven't annoyed you too much. As always, make a little silly comment below. Drop a like. Suggest me to your friends. Whatever you have to do. Let's try and build out the group. And until next time, cheers for listening. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and then go watch this one. This one up here. Give it a click. Bye-bye.